few slides, we have the learning objectives, the meaning of forecasting. So when you hear forecasting, like we are talking about predicting future events. Okay, so this is very important for business decisions, actually, for production, for facilities, for inventory, for human resources. So it's very important, forecasting is very important. Different types of forecasting: short range, medium range, and long forecast. You're talking about like you can forecast for 1 week, for 1 month, for 1 year, for 3 years. It depends on your business. Okay, and the types of forecasts, like you have economic forecasts, for example, inflation rate, money supply, technological forecast. You are talking about like new products, rate of technology progress, the impacts of a new products introduction, demand forecast, predict sales. That's the most important thing, predicting sales for existing product or service. Okay. So we will learn types of forecast. These are the steps in forecasting. Of course, you need to know or determine the use of the forecast, what you are going to forecast, and the time or the time horizon for the forecast. And then you select the method. And then, of course, if there is data, you need to collect this data and then make the forecast and validate the results. Okay. I'm just like going over the introduction, and then I will start the quantitative forecast methods. That's what we are going to concentrate on. So qualitative methods used when the situation is not clear. For new products, we don't have data in this case, so we use qualitative method. Okay. Quantitative method is used when we have a product already or current technology and we can collect data. So we use quantitative methods. These are the qualitative methods like Jury, Delphi method, market survey. So you don't have data. So even you have a small group of experience, they forecast the demand, okay, or the needs for the customers in the specified time. This is another method, decision makers or staff, or and you can use also market survey, especially when you are introducing a new product or technology where this technology does not exist before. So you can use the qualitative forecast. Quantitative forecast. So that's what we are going to study. We have different approaches, time series model and the associative model. So the time series, you have naive, moving average, and exponential smoothing. It depends. We will cover all of these. And other type, trend projection and linear regression. We are familiar with linear regression. We are going to use it again here. That's why we covered chapter 6, right? Before this chapter. So we introduced you to linear regression in chapter 6. We used the scatter diagram. That's what I usually use for linear regression. I use the Excel and generate the regression line. We will do exactly the same thing here, but we are using the regression for forecasting, okay? So now, oh, it's numerical data obtained by observing responses, forecast based on past value. So we are using the historical data, the past values that we are collected already. We were collecting this data for a long time, and then we are going to use this data now for forecasting or predicting the future needs, okay? Time series component, trend, seasonal, random, cyclical. So let's look at this chart here and see, look, this is random here, it's going up and down. The goal is that we are studying the behavior of the, let's say, demand. So if it is seasonal, look, this is seasonal, so it peaks every season. It goes up. For example, if we are forecasting like something related to swimming, definitely it will go up before the summer starts and it will go down during the winter, right? So this is seasonal, like random, something happens, like let's say when COVID occurred, there is a high demand for like medical instruments and like emergency rooms. So that's random. Okay. If there is a trend, so it is increasing over time. So there is an increase. Like if we say, okay, oh, the use of internet, it's increasing, it's increasing. It was here and then it's going up, up, up because there is an increasing demand for the use of internet. Okay. It's going over upward overall. It's due to the population, culture, age. No, now we talked about the seasonal. Cyclical repeating, it's repeating up and down. It could be affected by business cycle or political or economic factors. Random, as we said, it's due to random variation, That's give an example of that, like during Corona, there was no need for cars, for example, but there is a need for food because people are sitting. There is a need for internet. There was a need for what else? Like uh, devices, like electronic devices, because people were sitting home and doing work from home. Let's start with the first approach, which is naive approach. This is very easy. The demand in the next period is the same as demand in the most recent period. So in January, if the sales were 68 units, then February sales will be 68. It's the same. Any example of that? Can somebody give us an example of the naive approach for demand? Like, let's take like a small grocery store or a gas station or something. They are buying milk for the next week. Usually, they use the same amount. If they sell like 30 or 40 gallons of milk this week, so they will order another 30 or 40. This is a simple example. Or if you have a car dealership and uh, like you sold like 40 cars last year, and so you will order probably another 40 cars this year. You will not order a 1,000 car unless something happens. Okay, any questions?
No, sir, not right now.
Okay. So the naive If you are given, okay, this year our sales were like 68 cars. What is the prediction for next year? It's 68. That's a naive. It's the same. Okay, you order the same amount. The moving average, here where we need to go back to 3 or 4 or whatever. It depends, it depends. It will be given. You should know what are the periods you are going to use for your calculations. So used for smoothing provides impression of data over time. The moving average is the sum of demand in the previous n periods divided by the number of periods. Okay, that's the moving average. Okay, so n could be like months, could be weeks, could be years, right? So if we say uh, these are our sales, this is the month, these are the sales, January, February, March, April. So we sold 10, then we sold 15, then we sold 13. Okay, we said, okay, use the previous 3 months moving average to calculate. This is January, February, March, April, May. This is May. We don't know. This is the forecast. We call it forecast. What is the forecast for May? I go back. If they said use 3 months moving average. So I need to go 3 months. What's before May? April,
Yeah, 13.
March, and February. I add these up and divide by 3. Okay, we will have examples later. That's the moving average. Okay. So this is Garden Supply wants a 3 months moving average forecast, including a forecast for the next January for the shed sales. Are shown in the middle of the column 3 months moving average. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this here. So as we said, this is a quantitative, so we have data. We know the previous demand, the previous years or months. So they told us that we are using moving average. So now I know which, because later we will cover like 5 different methods. So you need to read the question and know, oh, which method you are going to use, okay? Because each method will give you a different answer, okay? So they said moving average. So we are moving with the average. So that means, go back specific periods of time and then find the sales. So since we are forecasting for April, so what's before April? March, February, and January. What are the values for these 3 months? The values, oh, let me just delete that. These 3 values. So for April, I will say forecast for April is equal to actual for March 13 plus 12 plus 10. I need the average for these 3 numbers divided by 3. So 13, 25, right? 25, 35, which is 11.2 point and 230. Okay? Any questions? Look here. For May, for example, For May, I take April, March, and February, divide by 3. For June, I take May, April, and March. I cannot use, for example, here, if I don't have data for the previous 3 months, I cannot do it for the previous months. But here, if I have January for the next period, I can use the 3 months here before January. Questions? Okay.
So all it is calculating the average of the previous 3 months.
Yeah, can you repeat your question, please?
I said so all it is just calculating the average of the like past 3 months.
Yeah, past periods, yeah. If you are given weeks, so you calculate the weeks, and you will be given let's say, the number of periods. So let's say if we are using here 2 months, so we just use two. Okay, it's not standard three. So if we are asked to use like 2 months, so we will go 2 months here. We will not include the 10, and this will be 2. Okay, if we are using 4, it depends. So of course, based on the experience, like this, those who do the the forecast, they know like which one is better for them, because later we will, when we learn the 5 methods, and after, like, they try all the methods and see which one fits their needs. They say, oh, okay, the moving average is not good for us because last month we predicted like 16 and we used like we needed like 17 or 18, so we short one. So let's try another method which gives us like something better than the moving average. But
Okay,
actually,
okay.
yeah, it depends on the periods. So if you are asked to find the two moving average for 2 months, use two, three, use three, five, use five. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. So determine the moving average, Donna Garden supply 2 months. Look here, 2 months. 2 months for June, for example. If I want for June, I go back 19 plus 16. Okay. If I am for May, this is the actual demand. Okay, this is the forecast. Usually you will be given the actual demand and then another column for the forecast. Usually this will be given as A, actual demand, and this is F, the forecast. So you are forecasting here. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Before we move to the next method, any questions?
No, I ain't got no questions.
Okay. The moving average is easy. It's Let me bring, if I have an example here. Let me see what's this. Yeah, for example, here, if we are using 2 months forecast, okay? 2 months. If I am forecasting for period 3, so this is equal to this plus this, and then I divide this by 2. Oh, that's my forecast for the third period. Okay, it's easy. So now we
And
said,
I
yeah,
got a question though.
yeah,
So on that Excel sheet,
yeah.
I seen you had put the average next to the third month. Is that how we always supposed to do it? You see what I'm saying? Like the average for the
Oh,
every week, every
you
line
want to
item.
do this? You mean you want to do the average like this?
Yeah. I'm asking like are we supposed to put the like sum total by the third month?
It's up to you, you know. You can use this, add them, and then divide by the number of period, or just
No, no,
use the,
no. You see how you got the 76.5
yeah,
right next to the 80,
yeah,
which is the third month. I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm like asking whenever we do get our average, is that where we're supposed to put it? Like right next to the third month?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. As I said,
okay,
usually this is the actual and this is the forecast, okay? Usually I give you a table like this. I tell you, okay, that's how we ask that. So you say, okay, we are forecasting for the number of cars we are buying in the next month. Here's the given data. What's the forecast for the third period? If you are using two periods. So I put the forecast next to the actual here. That's what usually we do. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Okay. The weighted moving average used when some trends might present. If there is a trend, so the weighted average, I think it's better to use older data, usually less important. So that means I'm not finding the average. It's moving average. Let's see what's moving average means. The sum of periods times the demand for each period divided by the weights. Okay, let's see how this works. So the weighted moving average, the sum of periods, the weight times the weight. Okay. So let's say that we have a 3 months weighted moving average. Okay. So the previous month's weight is 3. Okay. The next month, 2 months ago, is 2. And 3 months ago is 1. So here they give you weight. So that means we are using 3 periods, but they are not same. They don't have the same weight. So that means we say, okay, the previous month is 3 times important than the first month. Okay. The second month is 2 times important than the far month. Okay. So in this case, we say, okay, if I am predicting, for example, for April, here's April. What is before April?
March.
Yeah, March. So we say March weight is 3. Then after March, before April, February, right?
Yeah, February.
Yeah, the weight is 2. Then January, the weight is 1. Okay? So I put March weight is 3, February weight is 2, January weight is 1. And then I multiply each month with its weight. So 3 times 13, 2 times 12, January times 1. So in this case, let me remove this writing here so I can explain this better. So we said we have 3 here, 2, 1. So if we want to write this down here, forecast for April is equal to what? 3 March. How much March? 13. So it's 13 plus 13 plus 13. 2 Februaries. We have 2, so 2 12s. And then we have 1 January. How many we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1 is 6. Divide by 6. That's what the weighted moving average. Before, we used to add 13 plus 12 plus 10. We said 35 divided by 3. No, here we say March is very important to us. So that's why we give it a 3. The weight is 3. It's not 1. Before, they were equal in the previous method. Here, it is more important. Then February is less important than March. And then we say, oh, January, it's important, but it's not like February and March. Okay? And then let's see how much this would be. It's 12, right? It gave us 12. In the previous method, we got 11 something, but here it is 12. And we do the same thing for each period. Okay? So for example, here for December, what is before December? We have November, October, and September. So we have for here, yeah, for December, we have 3 times 16, 2 times 18, 1 times 28. Divide by 6. Okay, divide by 6. Any questions about the moving average?
No, no.
Okay. So now we covered the moving average and the weighted moving average. 2 methods. Sometimes the weight is given as a percentage or decimal, okay? So sometimes they say, okay, the previous month is 0.5, and then 2 months ago is 0.3, and then 0.5 plus 0.3 is 0.8. They should equal to 1. So the other month is 0.2. So in this case, let me explain this. Let's say we are using moving average for weighted moving average for 3 months. The last month weight is 0.5. Then the next month is 0.3. Then the next month, oh, what I did. Then the next month is, oh, I'm writing on that, so that's why. Then the next month is 0.2. Okay. So how we deal with that? Let's do April. So we say what's before April? We have March, February, and January. Okay. So I say the forecast for April is equal to the weight, which is 0.5 times 13 plus 0.3 times 12 plus 0.2 times 10. Okay? If you want to divide it by the total, which is 0.5 plus 0.3 plus 0.2, it's 1 actually. There's no need to divide by 1. It's the same. Okay? Questions?
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. No questions? Okay, of course, like for each method, there are like advantages and disadvantages. So there are like some problems with the moving average, and which is increasing in. It smooths the forecast, but it makes less sensitive to changes, does not forecast trends well, and you need lots of data, historical data for that. Okay, so let's look at this example. This is the actual sale here, the blue line. The blue line is the actual sale here, this blue line. This is the moving average forecast. So what they did, they have an actual problem, actual example from the example we just did. We did the forecast using the two different methods and we plot the data. That's what we did. And we compared it with the actual sales. See, that's how you find out which method is better for you. So they found that the moving average, look, moving average is performing better here because you see it is closer to the actual. Okay, it's better for this. Okay, but still it's far. So now they came up with exponential smoothing. Exponential smoothing. Form of weighted moving average. Weights decline exponentially. Most recent data weighted most. Okay, it's similar to the weighted average. Requires a smoothing constant. We call it alpha. So alpha is a constant. It is a value between 0 and 1. Okay? It is given based on the experience, or they use a software or calculation to decide their alpha. Okay? Let's see. So now we know how to use the moving average, the weighted moving average, and the third method is the exponential smoothing. From the name, you need to know that exponential smoothing using a constant, which is called alpha. Okay, let's see. This is the formula that we are using. So new forecast is equal to the last period forecast. So you just go to the column and find the last period. So if you have, so in, let me explain this here. FT, F is forecast, okay? T is current time, okay? Current period. I am sitting here.
You said T is current time.
Current time, yeah, the current period. So I'm sitting here. Yeah, I am sitting.
We'll be like multiplying the current time with the forecast, right?
No, I'm talking about T now. So I'm just
Okay.
explaining these terms. So we are in April. We are forecasting for April. So our current time is April. This is our T. Okay, so this is April. So what's before April? March,
You got
right?
March. Yeah,
Yeah.
March.
So this is T minus 1. They call it T minus 1, the previous period. Okay. So what is period T plus 1 should be?
Say that again.
What is the month for T plus 1? Which month should be? May, right?
Yeah, that'll be May because you going forward.
Yeah, that's the meaning. When you see T, oh, don't be scared. Oh, T. This is time. So I am forecasting for this time. So what's the formula? I add the previous period forecast, the forecast for the previous period. So if I am in April here, I add March forecast. And then what I do, I take alpha, multiply it by the difference between the actual for the previous period minus the forecast. There is a difference between the actual and forecast. I subtract them and multiply them by the constant alpha, which is given. So now, FT is the new forecast, which is for my current time. FT minus 1, F refers to the forecast, T minus 1 is the previous period. Alpha is the smoothing constant. It is between 0 and 1. A is actual. It's previous period's actual demand. Previous period actual demand. So I subtract this from this, multiply it by alpha, and add it to the ft minus 1. This will give me the exponential smoothing forecast. Okay? Let's see an example here. Okay. In January, a car dealership predicted February demand. Okay. Predicted February demand for 142 Ford Mustang. Actual February demand was 153. Using smoothing constant chosen by management, which is 0.2. So you are given everything. So you are given the predicted. So this is the predicted, okay? Predicted the February demand 42, 142. The actual was 153 using smoothing of 0.2. We said it is easy. So let me remove this stuff here. So what's the for March? So we are forecasting for March. So what's the forecast for March? We need first the forecast for February. It is given the forecast for February was, which is predicted, is the prediction. We said the forecast means prediction. So it's 142 plus the difference between the forecast and the actual, right? That's the difference times the given alpha, 0.2. So this will give me 142 plus 153 minus 142, how much? 11, right? 11
Yeah.
times 0.2. Okay? That will give you the answer. This is the solution for this example. Most of the time, I don't round unless the question asks you to round the numbers. I don't like rounding, so. Okay. Questions?
No, I ain't got no question.
So now let's summarize what we did today. We talked about the moving average. We said we just add them up and divide by how many periods. Then we moved to the weighted moving average. We are given weights, so we multiply each month by its weight, okay? If we are giving a percentage, we just multiply the percentage by each month. If we are giving like numbers, we add them up and find the average for these months. This is the weighted moving average. And then we talked about the exponential smoothing, where we use the smoothing constant, and we use this equation for exponential smoothing. Okay. Any questions? So again, so we stopped here. Let me just mark this. Is we will continue on Wednesday. This is today 1525. This is 91. Let me remind you with what we will have. So we will have our first test next week. It will be available online. Put this on the announcements. Make sure you check the test on time. So the test will be available from Sunday 21st to Tuesday 23rd. The test will cover 1 and 6, chapters 1 and 6. And you will need the lockdown browser, you will need calculator. Of course, you have the yeah, actually it's online, so it's better, you have your formula sheet in front of you, and you have the factors tables we provided earlier last week. Okay, so make sure you have all this stuff, and if you have any questions, you can contact me, and we will have another class on Wednesday. We will continue chapter 4. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
For
I
sure,
will.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you. I will post the recording. I forgot to post the recording for last meeting, but I'll post both probably tonight for today
Okay.
and last week. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank
Have
you.
a good one.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.